Madden 25 is live and we're ready to go with the hardest franchise series on YouTube on Madden 25. The rejects are back. The NFL rejects. Who are the NFL rejects? They are preseason and regular season free agents aged 30 or older. Not allowed to trade, not allowed to draft in this franchise series. And as you can see, we already see the Canton Thunderbirds here as the name and the location for the rejects in this fantastic series coming up. Had a lot of fun with this one on Madden 24, so it's only logical that I'm continuing this one with 0 overall. And how did we get here? Well, let me just quickly show you a quick recap on how we got here. So now that all of you know how we got here, we're going to be taking a look at the ground rules for this franchise series. Then we're going to be building the team over the course of the next few weeks. Again, house rules will apply here. And we're going to start off by taking a look at the franchise settings. Especially important here, the league settings, of course. Just going to be moving through these. There's nothing too crazy in here, of course. One thing that I do always switch on is the unlimited amount of player changes and player reductions down here. I need to have the minimum roster size off and the fill roster option disabled. It still happens, by the way. But yeah, that is not going to be too much of a hassle. Next up, the XP sliders. These are critical for this series, of course. As you can see, we've got all of the progressions for all of the player types and positions at 100%. This is just going to be standard. Changes are coming looking at the progression rates, of course, and at the regression rates. So when you look at these here, this is still all base standard. But one thing that we will be doing immediately is I want to have full regression, right? So I want to have full regression for the age of 35, 33, 32, 31, 30, and even down to 29, because I actually want to have the players that are going to be applicable for me and for this franchise series to be as bad as they can be. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. The age regression, I will be amping up this a little bit in 20% steps. So 26 is basically the last time where you've got the base regression, and then it just starts to really go downward. I'm trying to get players into here that are going to be helpful, but not too helpful. So there we go. Looking at the regression rates position-wise, I'm going to leave this as is. Just want to see what the game will do. And then, of course, we've got the progression. And the progression is going to be handled in a slightly different way. I'm going to be amping this up to 250 for the 20-year-olds. I'm going to be going to, where we're going to set it. Let's go 230, then 210. Let's do 20% steps again up to, let's say here, and then we're going to be kind of moving towards the baseline along these years, and then we are going to start slowing it down a little bit already. All right, I don't want to see any big progressions anymore, sorry. And there we go. We're going to be taking that all down to 0. I don't want to see any progression, any experience gains at a high rate anymore, right? So 100% is basically the multiplier here. If I set this to 0, it should always be 0. But yeah, there we go. This is what's needed to get this kind of franchise working. Yeah, we're all gonna see the effects of these settings soon as we start this franchise series. All right, so here we go. As promised, here are the sliders now imported. These are my sliders. I've got a separate video up. You can take a look at that one to just get an idea of what the idea behind this is. In short, I wanted to make some things more difficult and more challenging. The results are super realistic on all Madden, so that really works very well. Some had to be adjusted really far down, like the interceptions, but it's the same for CPU and player. We've got the field goal and special teams adjustments done. Injuries are at 50%. If you work with all the players, this is going to be a great setting. Going to give us a lot of storylines, a lot of head scratchers and stuff like that, so that's great. Fatigue's at 60%. I want to have tired players. These are older dudes, and I really want to have an effect here. And a minimum player speed threshold at 47 gets us very good results as well. Alright, as you can see top, there's 27 out of 75 players already on the team. We're going to be checking up real quick on the team now and just making sure that we don't have players over the age of 30 on the team. As you can see, actually, we did get some of those very good players onto the team. Some of these we will have to let go. This is just what I will be doing really quickly here. Alright, so after some cleaning up, we are left with the following players on the team. Ryan Tannehill, quarterback. David Bakhtiari, Trey Turner, Josh Wells. So we do have 3 players for the offensive line setup. We've got 2 cornerbacks already, which is pretty nice. And we've got a very, very good free safety. So I'm actually not too unhappy about this one here. The next step now will be to dive into the free agents pool and just start building this team up from the ground. Alright, so the first set up of the Thunderbirds has been created out of the free agency. As you can see, we have slapped in players on all positions here. A lot of running backs, no fullback. I think I will be converting one of these. I went for all of the available wide receivers. I think I'm going to be cutting that down a little bit. The tight end group looks a little bit rough, to be brutally honest. We've got a bunch of players on left tackle. There were a lot of good dudes available. No left guards, so I will be converting, but I will be doing that later on. And now we've got 2 centers here. We've got 2 right guards. We've got 3 right tackles. All of that looking pretty good. We've got 2 left edge players here, 2 right edge players, 2 D tackles. We've got 2 left outside linebackers, mid linebackers, right outside linebackers, a few cornerbacks, 1 or 2, 3, 4 can never really hurt on this position. We've got 1 free safety. We need another free safety here, of course, and 2 strong safeties, a kicker, and a punter. And that is all of the team as it stands right now. What I will be doing now is I will be forwarding now to the bye week. I think we're going to be setting our roster, finalizing it then, and then moving on into week 1, where I will be taking a look at the roster, looking for maybe 1 or 2 changes to that, but overall we're going to be looking like this moving into the next season. So the Cowboys versus the Thunderbirds will be the first matchup in this franchise series, the NFL Rejects. But we're not really done yet. And you might ask yourself, well, what has changed after preseason? Well, players have been released. And usually 1 or 2 good free agents are going to be dropped into being available. Might not be this right now in the first season, but usually after that, at this point in time, teams do start releasing players because they build up other players, and they just cut down on their preseason rosters. So there we go. Sterling Shepard, for instance, has become available here. I don't think I'll be going for him. I haven't had, too much luck when I did use him. Tight ends. Oh, this is fantastic. This is a big help. Mercedes Lewis. We're going to be bringing him in because we did have a problem at tight end. The ratings were super low. And funnily enough, I know all 3 pretty well from last year's Rejects. Mo Ali Cox, here we go. The final tight end to be signed to our roster. We also got Jordan Akins, Robert Tonyan. So there's even players here. If we do have injuries during the season, we can try and plug some holes. Kevin Beecham, he looks like a good addition to the offensive line. As I said, I will have to adjust it ever so slightly. Justin Pugh on left guard. This might actually not be a bad choice to bring him in here as a base left guard. Aaron Stinney, yeah, that works. Any new additions here? Tyler Shatley was added. I think he's slightly better than than the centers that I currently have. I just need some protection here for Ryan Tannehill. Right guard, no new additions. George Fant, always a mainstay when I do something similar to this here. He's just pretty old and usually gets dumped in here. Left edge, let's see, William Golston, Jerry Hughes. Doesn't look like any new big additions have been slotted in here. Any big names that I feel like picking up? Nope. Sheldon Rankins on D-tackle. I think we're gonna be bringing him in just to get a comparison player. We will be cutting down, of course. John Jenkins also actually not looking too horrible. Eddie Goldman, Henry Anderson. Let's bring in John Jenkins as well, just to bring in the big, strong D-tackle. All right, that works. What about this here? Right edge, Kerry Hyder, Gerald Thurton. Yeah, no, nobody here. Left outside linebacker, the top-rated was David Mayo. Don't really feel like going for him. Mid linebackers, Nick Kwiatkowski. I don't think we need him. I honestly don't think we need him. Duke Riley's here as well. But Dupree on the right outside linebacker. Let's check that out. He might be a little bit better compared to some of the others that we have on the team. Cornerbacks. Kwan Williams, Fabian Moreau. I think we're going to bring in Kwan Williams. I would like to have 5 cornerbacks, to be honest. What else is there? Free safety to Sean Gibson. There's no big drops here. We need now. I think we even needed another free safety. I think we only had one. Let's use Deshaun Gibson Sr. I think he looks like a good addition here. What else do we have? Taylor Rapp has been dropped, right? DeMonte Kazee, Rodney McLeod, Duran Harmon. All right. Kicker. Ooh, Dustin Hopkins has been released. I think we're going to be going with Dustin Hopkins. Because the dude I picked was, I think it was 69 rated or something like that. That didn't really make me all too happy. And no new punters have been added here. So, alright. Let's see the checkmark sign into the air. And we're going to have to cut down on a few players. And, you know, to bring the team into its final shape. That was the wrong button. Here we go. Alright. We've got Ryan Tannehill and Brian Hoyer. I think we're going to work with these two. We've got the running backs. We've got Jerick McKinnon. We've got Latavius Murray. We've got Melvin Gordon and Kenyon Drake. And I usually really like having a fullback, a nominal fullback in there. So I'm not sure. I usually really like having Melvin Gordon, but I have stronger rated players here. So I will be using Melvin Gordon, who's pretty powerful, as my fullback. That's going to be the first order of the day, the first change to this team position-wise. And there we go. Save, and we're out again. There we go. All right, so fullback Melvin Gordon. Now let's sort out the wide receiving group. We've got Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, Robbie Chosen, Randall Cobb, Marquise Goodwin, Julio Jones, and Philip Dorsett II. I think we're going to be cutting him. I think Philip Dorsett might not be really needed here. Who else do we have? On tight end. Yeah, time to clean out now. I'm actually pretty happy that we got some drops here because that usually tends to be one of my most valued positions. I just really like those tight end plays a lot, but not like this. Not with players that are this badly rated. It will really not be a lot of fun. But here we go. Now we've got Mercedes Lewis, Logan Thomas, and Mo Alley Cox. I'm feeling really good about these. Old, yes, but quality. David Bakhtiari. I'm going to leave him on left tackle. We now have Donovan Smith, who is injured. We've got Kelvin Beachum. We've got Dwayne Brown and Cameron Fleming. I think I will be putting Beachum into the left guard position. He is still a very highly rated player. And the second left tackle was injured anyway, so I don't think I would be able to switch him over there. So Donovan Smith stays at left tackle, Dwayne Brown and Cameron Fleming. Who's got the higher strength? I'm going to go with Brown here. I think we're going to cut Cameron Fleming. There we go. All right, so right tackle, left tackle, and left guard is sorted. Justin Schaefer, you're going to be going. Please leave the premises. Here we go. At center, we're looking at Tyler Shatley, 69, Pat Elflein, and Austin Reiter. I think I'm going to be sticking with Elflein. He has a higher strength rating, and that is super important at that position. So there we go. Thanks, Austin. We might see each other again in case of injuries. Trey Turner, right guard. Michael Schofield, backup here. On right tackle, we are seeing quite a few players. Josh Wells is a dude we're going to be cutting now. Don't really feel like he will be helping us too much. Jord Fant, that's good. Jason Peters, I like this one. Riley Rife, I think I'm going to be cutting you, even if I could see you rejoining in the future again. Left edge, two guys. Lawrence Guy Sr. and Shaq Lawson. I really like this setup. Right edge, Chandler Jones, awesome dude, 34 and 75. Terrell Basham sitting behind him. D tackles, Rodden Sheldon Rankins and John Jenkins, Linville Joseph and Mike Purcell. I think I will be able to cut the latter two. I actually like the top two players enough, and we will be backfilling anyways in case of injuries bound to happen. Marcus Golden and Bruce Irvin are the left outside linebackers. Mid linebackers, Alexander Johnson and Blake Martinez. Pretty cool here. On right outside linebacker, we've got Bud Dupree, we've got Melvin Ingram and Jason Pierre-Paul. We're going to be cutting Paul here. I always like to start the season with 2 players per position to not go overboard. Quarterbacks, Stephon Gilmore, Xavier Howard, Patrick Peterson, Jason Brett, and Kawan Williams. Speaking of which, these positions, for instance, the cornerbacks, but also the wide receivers, of course, are exceptions of the rule. All other positions, I like having 2 players here. We just need more. It's just a little bit more demanding. Free safety, Justin Simmons, one of the stars of the team. Pretty chuffed to have him on board. Tashawn Gibson Sr., 34 and 97. Kareem Jackson, 36 and 80. Plus we've got Jaron Kersey here as a strong safety. Kickers, we've got 2 now, and we're actually going to let go of Mason Crosby. I'm sorry, my dude, but I actually feel a little bit better with Dustin Hopkins, 77 rated here. 94 kick power, 84 kick accuracy. And Pat O'Donnell stays our punter. Not too crazy about him, but there was just nobody else available. The draft picks, we only have 1 left for the year 2027. I always give those away because we are not going to be drafting anyways. And the practice squad, yeah, that is something that I will have to clear out because we're not going to be using anybody out of this group of players anyways. Going to be doing that off screen. It's not that exciting for you to watch here. We're also going to be choosing a draft class and all that next week. For the time being, I'm going to say, be saying thank you so much for joining me on this one here. I hope you're excited about this as I am. I really can't wait to get going here. This is the team that we're going to be working with here. And it's going to be a challenge, but the NFL rejects have something to prove. They want to prove that it was a mistake by all the other teams not picking them anymore, not giving them a chance on their teams, and leaving them out to dry in the free agents pool. That said, guys, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me. I do hope to see you again next episode. Up until then, stay awesome, everybody, and see you next time.